This tutorial will speed through to show you how to prepare the land for building the Skyrim Homesteads and building the starter house. Let's get to work. The first step is locating a huge plot of land. I used a spot next to a lake to complement the finished design of the structure. Build a chest and workbench to build a campsite to store belongings, fix tools, and sleep. Using a ruin nearby can work too. Just keep it simple. Clear rocks nearby the worksite you plan to build. Kill nearby enemies to avoid any distractions. Find a height you're satisfied with, and begin plowing the land at the level you're standing on. The level does not have to be absolutely flat, as you'll be building a foundation for the house. Use a pickaxe to dig out any mounds and flatten it out. Keep expanding the flat land on the sides to make room for the sides of the house. You can use the wooden floors to measure out a minimum of a 20 by 20 flat area. Make extra room at the front of the house. In this case, the front of the house will be facing away from the lake. Now build 4 workbenches on each corner of the worksite, making sure they overlap each other. We can now begin gathering wood and stone to bring to the staging areas on the side of the worksite. Gather 1,000 wood and 400 stone. These numbers are subject to change. 500 wood would be enough for the starter house. More will be needed for the entire homestead. Don't forget to harvest core wood from pine trees. Store the core wood inside a chest in the staging area. 100 will suffice for now. Be sure you know where the boundaries of the building will end, as it can be disastrous when you run out of room and have to start over. Use these clips to get an idea. I'm eyeballing where the center of the house will sit and how close I want it to sit near the water. Don't copy this foundation just yet, but if you're in a situation like me, then go ahead and use this to measure out where the front of the house will sit. I will be removing this frame and will begin on the starter house. Now we can begin building. First, place the 1-meter wood pole as the front right corner of the house. Dig just underneath the beam to insert the 2-meter log pole that will give it a strong foundation. Don't worry about the holes that you make under the house. You won't see it. Remove the 1-meter wood pole to replace it with the 2-meter log pole. You're going to need 4 log poles on each side of the house with 2 beams going across on each section. Once you're done, fill in any holes outside of the foundation and level it on each log pole. It's up to you if you want the house sitting far off the ground or close to the ground. I prefer it close. Next, we're laying down support beams going across the floor for temporary stability. Start laying down the wooden or stone floor of your choice. There was a delay due to me deciding on how the beams on the floor looked. They delayed my character walking over them, so I had them removed. Now that the floor has been laid, it's time to patch the sides of the foundation to finish it. Make sure there are no gaps between the wooden walls and the ground. With Phase 1 complete, we move on to Phase 2, which is the wooden frame. Place 4 long log poles on each side of the foundation, making sure they line up with the 2-meter log poles underneath. Place 2 gate doors on each side. Make a ladder to assist with reaching the roof frame, but be sure you eat something to prevent any accidental deaths. Pay close attention to where this log pole is placed. It needs to be sitting on top of the half walls, not inside. One wrong placement could potentially affect the entire structure, either aesthetically or the structural integrity, so be sure your placement is spot on. This log pole needs to be sitting on top of the beams, not inside. Use this thatch roof part as a safety net in case you slide down. It'll catch you at the edge if you don't move. With Phase 2 complete, we move on to Phase 3, laying down the roof. This roof ladder will assist you later down the line with the main hull and wing additions. It's up to you to add it now or later. These beams have done their job. Now you can replace them with the 45-degree wood walls. I noticed I placed the wrong support for these cross beams, so you may choose to replace them. With Phase 3 complete, you can now add the stairs on either both sides or only the front door. I chose to add a little grace by adding wooden rails on each side. I noticed both doorways had beams laying across that would impede the player's movement. It is safe to remove them. This is the finished product of the starter house. The main hall will be next if enough people want a video on how to build it. Unknown Smile, signing off.